Well, hello there, YouTube. I have made it up to the Toledo area. Oh, my ears were plugged, didn't know it. Rolling up and down hills there. Snuck up on me. Well, there is some light, and you can see it's real close to that mountain range there. But we'll mix things up just a little bit today. Or maybe not, I don't know. So, today, towards the end of the day, we took in a Street 750 Harley-Davidson. And I haven't ridden it yet. It's in, you know, they brought it back to service for the used vehicle inspection. And anyway, hopefully I'll get the job. They usually give the Harleys to me, but that thing's very un-Harley-like. In fact, it caught my attention. I was like, what the hell is that? Got this all whistly and whirry sound, and you know, kind of got this Honda sound going on to it. So I see it's black, and I got about halfway across the shop, and I seen it was a Street 750. And the salesman wrote it back, said he wasn't impressed with that at all. Of course, he's our Indian salesman, and I think the guy probably traded it in on a Indian Scout would be my guess. If you're into that kind of motorcycle, that would a Scout would definitely be a substantial upgrade. But I'm kind of curious to ride it. I don't want his few verbal thoughts of it to sway me. What the hell do I got on? Oh, it's my lens cap. But I did throw my mirror in my pocket today because I found out day before yesterday I got, or what was that? That might have been Monday. Hey, I don't know if it's in a vlog I've already posted, but in the last day or two I was riding this and I was talking along, and all of a sudden this bird comes flying across, but I didn't see it come out the other side, and I went, uh-oh, that one might not have made it. And I think I was on Smoky Valley Road. I think I was coming to work, maybe. Well, I see this huge old like maple leaf stuck in the right radiator grill, so I go over to pull that thing out. This is before I left work today, and I go, what the hell is that? Over on the left hand side, in the left hand lower corner. It was a little finch, poor little fella, and I go, oh my lord, I know exactly when that happened. I remember that little guy or gal whizzing out in front. You know, usually you see them and they'll come out the other side, and you go, ooh, just barely made it. This one didn't come out the other side. What makes it sad was the poor little bird, was he trapped in that scoop? You gotta imagine the air, the velocity of air going in those radiator ducts. Some things are like these massive, like, intakes to a jet motor, you know. There's some serious air being pushed through those things. Was the thing hurt and couldn't get out because of the intake, or did it kill itself when it hit the motorcycle? I hope it killed itself when it hit it. I hate to think that poor little thing sat there the whole ride to work and ended up, you know, losing his battle because he couldn't get out. Kind of a horrifying thought. But yeah, I found this little bird in there. I was going to take a picture of it, but I thought, I'm not going to do that. And then if I took a picture of it, it'd show up in the photo stream, my wife would see it, and then I'd have to explain to her, and she wouldn't be too happy about that. Not that the bird got killed. Well, she wouldn't be happy about that, but that I would take a picture of it. Oh yeah, she's beautiful out here. But any of you guys got the, I know a gal up in Canada I think it was the 750 she got. It might have been the 500, but I think it was the 750. I know she got one. She seems to be very, very happy with it. I'm not passing any kind of judgment on it at all until I ride it. He was going, oh, I don't have any power. I said, what are you comparing it to? You know, a Scout? It's more of even though it's only 1100 something cc's, it's more of like a 1200 class motor. That thing them Scouts run strong. Especially if you put the mufflers in the stage 1. The stage 1 mufflers and ECM flash on it. Things run really nice. Real nice. But you know, the stage 1 mufflers, they have the catalytic converters in them. And just so you guys know, the catalytic converter doesn't kill anything. Everybody thinks that there's some huge reduction in airflow because of them. There ain't nothing huge about it. It's not killing nothing. I mean, it's, you know, obviously you're gonna get better performance. You know, I was gonna change this up a little bit today. Force a habit here. Just mix it up just a little bit here so I don't bore you guys completely. But I enjoy that Scout enough that I may end up buying one of those things before it's over with. But just so you guys know, if I buy another, you know, sport or sport cruiser, whatever you even call those things, I have no idea. I don't really look at them as a cruiser. In fact, you know, unless you're buying like a 1200 custom or a 1200 low, or well, now they're super lows, but I don't, you know, they classify the Iron as a cruiser. I don't know what I'd call it, but it definitely, the last thing I'd call it would be a cruiser. It's more like I don't know, it's kind of like a cafe bike is what it reminds me of. Especially if you take them godforsaken squatted down rear shocks out of them. But you know, guys make these kind of bobber style things or whatever out of them. You know, they're like a blank canvas. You can go all kinds of different directions with them. I look at mine as kind of like I would look at a cafe racer. That style of bike. The cruiser is no part of it. I mean, the foot peg position, the handlebars, nothing about that is a cruiser. I don't get it. I think Harley actually classifies it as a, well, they call it the dark custom. I guess they don't call it a cruiser, but other magazines and whatever that talk about them call them cruisers. Well, this guy's crawling. Oh man, look at that light. Oh, I couldn't have made a better choice than to cruise out this way. And I was actually going to kind of cut this one short, and I might not do that. I was going to do a little looping around, which may or may not work. I don't know. This is really pretty. I love that porch wrapping around the front of that house. It's just amazingly cool. That old style, it's not that old of a house. I think it was built like 8 or 9 years ago. You know, it's like people, you know, say they'll buy an Indian because of its long tradition, you know. There's no long tradition here. There was a massive, and I do mean massive, gap since, and none of the original people there, this is, you know, somebody just bought the name. That was Polaris. Bought the name and are producing their their own bikes to, you know, kind of have that Indian aura about them. But they're not, you know, Harleys are Harleys from day one. You know, we've all sat back and watched the evolution of them come about, you know. You know, they had, you know, some tough times where they were partnered with AMF Sporting Goods, but it was still Harley-Davidson building the motorcycles, you know. Indian and any resemblance of it has been gone for many, many, many years. And there's a couple of startups that tried to resurrect them. In fact, there's one I got to work on. I think it's next week sometime. It's on my schedule. It's one of the old. It's basically just a custom built Harley using an S&S motor, an S&S Evo looking motor, stuffed in a custom frame and has Indian looking fenders on them, you know. There ain't no part of that thing Indian. I've never understood that, how you know, a company that disappears opens up by a completely different company, has no relation to the original company. And no, I want to. That's the one I always take. I was thinking of different ways of mixing this up a little bit. But you know, I mean, I understand it, you know, the lure to them and everything, but I look at the real picture, and the real picture is that another company bought the name and is just calling them Indian and claiming all their heritage just because they bought the name. I love that when people buy these old cop cars. You ever notice well, I say this in a very negative way, but I don't mean it as bad as it sounds, but it's what I call it's what I call it, so I'll just say it. It seems like the crackheads buy them old cop cars and they go bombing around in them, and I think they actually hope they're gonna scare people, you know. They're probably the very person that needs to be the most afraid of a police officer. It's funny the things people do. But they do get you, though. You look up and go, oh, a police officer cruising around out here. No. Just some chick on an old police car. So you know, Harleys are not all American-made stuff. You know, the engines and frames and all that stuff, but the suspension is Showa, which is owned by Honda. You know, I was going to say the brakes. I was thinking too many things here at the same time. The brakes were for the longest time were Nissan, which is also owned by Honda. Of course, now a lot of their stuff is going to Brembo. Even Honda's going to Brembo. On a lot of their stuff, like their CBR 1000 Special or whatever the hell it's called. It's got Brembos on it. And God, doesn't it even have Olin suspension and stuff on it? You think Honda owning Showa would have some super high-end, they would come up with their own real high-end suspension and use on there, but I don't think, you know, I think a lot of that stuff is in a brand. Not that there's anything wrong with Olin suspension by any means, but even if, you know, Honda came out with some Showa suspension that actually outperformed it, people are still going to put the Olin stuff on it. just because it's in a name and its reputation, and maybe the ease of having done a bunch of suspension stuff with KTMs I did. But other than that, I don't have a lot of experience with them. So I really don't know what to think of those Harleys that are built in India. I don't know what to think about them. But even, you know, I buy American only. There's a lot of Japanese and Chinese and all kinds of stuff mixed throughout those things. We're a world economy, you know. Things get outsourced, and it's not, you know, sure there's some, you know, cost involved here. It's cheaper to have certain things done, but sometimes it's just easier to get higher quality from somewhere else than and have it done at a much more reasonable price than what we could, you know, engineer and build it here. So if you got some reputable company that can build gauges and suspension and brakes and stuff like that, you know, why should you spend all this R&D trying to build your own? Just outsource it and put it on. That's what they do. Everybody does it. The Japanese have Chinese and Thailand and all kinds of different things scattered throughout their bikes. They're not all Japanese. So, you know, all these things go that way. It's like BRP. Everybody goes, oh, they're Canadian. Well, the engine is built in Austria. Electronics are like Bosch, and I see stuff from Italy. I see stuff from Germany. They're all over the place. You know, you look through these things, all these little tags, you know, made in China, made in Italy. They're all over. And I have no issue with that at all. But I can't wait to ride that thing. See what it's like. See what she's like. It almost seems like I rode one of those things before. It seems like I went to a dealer and rode them. But I'd have probably recorded it or something and shown you guys, but hell, I don't know. You lose track of what's what after a while. So we did lose our son eventually. It's there. Oh yeah. She's putting off a good old smell. Not real intense, but very much so there. Very pleasing. Yeah, the sun's actually still up. It's just some cloud layer. Or there's a gap in the mountains right there. But anyway, as I approach... Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, see, it's the clouds muting it. Heck yeah. So really, we have 20 more minutes before the sunset, so must be a nice gap in the mountains right there. But anyway, I will conclude this ride home MotoVlog, and I'll ride again tomorrow. If it's not all foggy and nasty and freezing cold here. Oh, it's 66, so it was 80. It hit 82 going by the Clark County Fairgrounds, so that was the high that I seen coming home. And it stayed that way until almost Woodland, and it dropped back down to 80. So from 82 to 66. So that ain't too bad. Well, anyway, I will chit chat with you guys later. I really appreciate you watching and commenting and all that kind of good jazz. And I'll do as many rides as I can while it lasts. And then I've got tons of stuff I've never posted, so whether I'll go back on all that stuff, I have no idea. But I want to work on some new... Whoa there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stay on your side of the road. I'll work on some other things too. We'll make it through the winter fine. So, again, thank you very much. I'm out. Just see you now. Bye-bye.